Hello, everyone. We're live today again on Wednesday. Welcome to our weekly Wednesday Lives, where we give all of our updates on what we're doing this week for our Rebelle Rally team. And this week we have a special guest. But first, I am going to bring on Matt. Give you our quick updates, and then we'll get our special guest on. Okay. Do it again. There she is.
Hello.
Hello, everybody. Happy Wednesday. We know it's 2 o'clock because we're on live again. So this week we are having our special guest on Team 155, Full Sail Dream Team. They competed in a vintage Land Rover Defender. So we're talking about their challenges that they faced competing in the Rebelle Rally with such a cool vintage rig. We plan on hopefully only being about like 20 to 25 minutes today. So stick with us. All right, over to you, Jess.
Yes. So for updates, we have 77 days left before the rally begins. So that's a little over 2 months. So it's like 2.5 months right now. As a reminder of who
Oh, I think Jess may have dropped off there. One moment. See if I can invite her back in. Oh.
Okay, sorry, I have no idea what happened. I'm back. Can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I can hear you great.
Where did I drop off? What did you hear last?
That we had 77 days left.
Okay. Okay. That's it. All right. So it's like 2.5 months left before the rally begins, and so we're prepping really hard. As a reminder for those who do not know us, I'm Jess. This is Kelly. We are Team Hope 185, and we are rookies. This is our first year in the Rebelle Rally. Our name is Team Hope because we are. This is really intimidating for us to do. This is really scary for us, but we also realize that there's no perfect time for us to be in this rally. So we're taking that leap of faith. We're creating hope for ourselves and for other women. We're trying to empower women to show them that it's possible to do really scary things. And we're hoping to ignite hope in other women and others just by us being in this rally. So that's a big reason why we're competing this year. That's who we are. And then our current funds. So our current funds are still at $6,009. And as for that goal, we're at about 16% of our fundraising goal. This is amazing, incredibly helpful that we've had so many people help us, and we're so thankful for that. But we still don't have budget to be able to cover any training costs, and we still have a long way to go. We're still trying to reach out to sponsors, and we are still looking for help from you. And even like $5 or even $10, skip a coffee just for the day and donate that to our fundraiser would be really, really helpful for us. Every single dollar counts. And we would really love to have you be a part of our journey as we head towards the rally. To be able to do that, Kelly can drop into the comments. It's just Rebelle Rally Team 185 and then /donate. And there's a couple different ways to do it. You can direct it, get a gift certificate so you know it goes directly to the rally for like our registration. You can also do Venmo or PayPal, so there's definitely options. So typically we would shout out whoever has contributed in the last week. We don't have anybody because we didn't receive any donation in the last week. So if you want to be shouted out and would like for us to shout you out next week, just go ahead and send to that link that Kelly just added into the comments. Some quick team updates. The logo is finished. I'd say it's 99% finished right now. I'm finishing the littlest little details today, and then we will plan on getting the crowdfunding campaign merch that everyone had ordered. We plan on getting those orders in this week. Once we receive them, we will be able to package them up and send them to you so you can represent us with your hats and your stickers and patches and t-shirts and all that fun stuff. Also, the press kit, last week we had asked for you to give us some feedback on how we're helping empower you. And so you responded, you gave some really great feedback to us on how we're helping you and empowering you. We'll be putting that into our press kit this week as well. And that is it for those updates, but Kelly has something special to share with you.
Yeah, so this week I finalized a local event that I'm going to have here in my hometown. So if you're local to NorCal, Bay Area, reach out to me and check my my personal page. I'm going to be posting the flyer there. So we're going to have our first local community event where we're teaching just a basic tire change class for locals to be able to just learn a basic skill that can help get you safer and off the road quicker, so you're not trying to learn how to change a tire while you're in the middle of it. So stay tuned for that on my personal page, and I'll have that up today. Actually, I'll post about that and share it on our stories.
Yay! Thank you. That's going to be really, really exciting, and I'm bummed I won't be up there for it, but I'll be supporting you and from down south, and I'll be working on my own events down here for those who are in Southern California area who would be interested in participating in something like that as well. Last thing before I pass it to Kelly is the blog update. So in last week's blog, it's titled Fueling Dreams, Team Hope's Inspirational Rebelle Rally Pursuit. I share some vulnerability and honesty on our road to the rally. We have to consistently remind ourselves of the why of what we're doing this for and the determination to inspire and ignite hope in others. And I talk a little bit more about why we're doing this again and how we're trying to make a difference. And if anyone's interested in that, it's on our website. Just if you go to rebellerallyteam185.com, we write a blog post every week just to try to share a little bit more about who we are, what we're doing, why we're doing it. And then we also do team features. So if you're interested in seeing any of the other teams that are out there, feel free to check them out. And then we have our lovely guests coming on here. We have Liza and we have Jenna from Team 155 Full Sail Dream Team. Before I hop into that, Kelly, got something?
Yes, so before we talk with our guests, we're so excited to have you. Just one more quick reminder to check our link in bio. That's where our all of our info is. It's our team website, and you can go. You'll see our pink donate pages all over the place. So please consider maybe skipping your cup of coffee and helping us get our rally helmets instead. We appreciate all the help that we can get. All right, so now to introduce our guests. We're so excited.
Yay! So team, Full Sail Dream Team, Team 155. Who are you? And let's hear a little bit about who you are and what you do and how are you involved with the Rebelle Rally?
Hi, I'm Liza. I am the navigator for our team. I live in Southern California. I'm in Santa Clarita, just north of LA. I am a mom and a Pilates instructor when I'm not off-roading all the time. And I produce a podcast that is all about Land Rovers called The Underpowered Hour.
Awesome.
And I'm Jenna. Can you hear me okay on this mic?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I'm Jenna. I am the driver of our duo here. I'm an architect. I have an office up in Springfield, Oregon, which is adjacent to Eugene. And I'm very excited to be here and look forward to chatting.
Yes, thank you so much for your time to hop on and chat a little bit with us. You have more experience in the rally that we will just soak up like very dry sponges, just eager to hear anything you have to share. So thank you so much for your time. So how did you choose your rally vehicle?
That's a great question. So our rally vehicle is colloquially known as the Dream Machine. But before that, it had the name of Fender. My daughter named it Fender when she was born. My husband and I have owned that car. He owned it starting in 1997. So we've had this car. We took our first date in that car. We got married and drove away in that car. That is a very, very sentimental vehicle in the Barris household. And last year, when I realized I wanted to train for the Rebelle Rally, I signed up for a Rebelle training. I thought, I'm going to do it in the Defender. I called Jenna and I said, you should do this training with me. We didn't know each other very well at the time, but I said, I think you should come down and do this training. And by the end of the day, she had her ticket booked. And she came down, we did a Rebelle U in that car. And by the end of the weekend, we were like, okay, this is it. This is going to work. This is a good team. The car is the right choice for us. It kind of, a 30-year-old Land Rover still has a bit of a vintage feel to it, which is really in line with Jenna's experience with Land Rovers, which I'll let her talk about, but it also was modern enough that we felt like it could handle whatever the Rebelle Rally could throw at it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it was great. Liza had signed up for that training, and we decided to do it as sort of a test of just, understanding what really was this all about. What is the Rebelle? What are the skills? Hopefully learning some of those skills, but then a big part of that training was also an exploration of like, are we compatible? Do we have a good chemistry? Like,
spoiler
are we going to be able
alert? The answer was yes.
yeah, like the ability to like problem solve together, right? Like the chemistry is very important to your success in the event, and so. The answer was a hard yes, like basically immediately. We knew after day one of a 4-day training, we're like, oh my God, this is going to be great. And at that time, it was funny because we had just, I thought, signed up for a training. And at the end of maybe day one, Liza was like, well, I might have put us on the wait list already. And so we were on the wait list for last year, which was an unexpected delight. And magically, we did get in. And as you know, we participated. So it was awesome. To speak a little bit about the vehicle experience. Yeah, so my daily driver is actually a much older Land Rover, and my whole kind of the other half of my life revolves around, of work, of architecture things, and then the other half is like Land Rover stuff, and it's old Land Rovers, like 50s and 60s Land Rovers. So my daily driver is a 1966. Every vacation we do revolves around driving old Land Rovers out into the desert, a couple weeks out and middle of Death Valley or wherever, somewhere fun, and so this Defender that Liza has was a really good fit, I think, for both of us, because it feels a lot like, it still feels like an older truck. It's still manual, like it's the same shape and size, like there are compatible parts. And so it was a lot. It was a good in-between, I guess, between like a brand new modern car and something super old and crunchy like what I drive. And it's like so photogenic, that car. I mean, how could you not love it, right?
Yeah, it's so true.
Yeah.
I know, and the funny thing is actually, Liza and I have met before. Liza and I actually met at the Art of Rebelle, and Kelly actually was communicating with Liza and with Jenna with getting them on to do this chat with them, and I had seen their like logo because Liza gave me a sticker, the underpowered hour of the Defender, and I had recognized the sticker. So it's amazing that like that vehicle is what connected to remembering who you were. So it's just, the vehicle looks awesome. And you should definitely check out, there it is. That's the sticker. I'm like, I should have it here. It's a very cool sticker. Awesome. Also, if anyone's watching, if you have any questions for this team, feel free to put them into the comments. We'll jump into them in just a couple minutes. I got one more question for you, and is, what challenges did you have during the Rebelle Rally driving a classic Land Rover Defender?
Many challenges. No, it was great. You know, we went into it with a very, very different mindset and prep from a lot of other teams. So we met a lot of other teams at training and sort of formed a bond with a series of other teams that, you know, were driving brand new cars or very new-ish cars. And we realized very early on that our concerns were very, very different from theirs. You know, we were really focused on what parts we needed to carry with us, what parts we were going to have the mechanics. A lot of tools. We spent a lot of time in our workshop in Southern California. Jenna came down for a week, and we spent a lot of time practicing how to change things and putting the car up on the lift and looking underneath at all the potential failure points, what it should look like, making sure that we had a really comprehensive checklist that Jenna went through every single night without fail to make sure that, you know, our biggest priority last year was finish the rally. At all costs, finish the rally. Make sure that it's not a DNF because the car can't make it. So we did everything we could to prep the vehicle, all the while trying to get sponsors, trying to figure out our camping pack, trying to figure out all of our gear, what made the most sense, how we were going to get the car up to Incline Village, all of that kind of thing. So it was a lot, but our prep was so different from people who were running brand new vehicles that, you know, certainly weren't bringing the scope of parts and tools, nor were they counting on needing to know as much about their vehicle as we did.
Absolutely. Yes.
Yeah. We brought, I don't know, 1,000 pounds worth of spare parts. We brought so many spare parts and tools. Like we had the back of the car full of them. We had, I mean, we had spare shocks, axle shafts. We had a full steering box.
Yeah. Jenna had to replace a lot of things. She did a lot of the maintenance herself on the vehicle. On day one, she rebuilt our front driver's hub. On day 3, she had to replace the bushings on our rear shocks that had like pancaked on one side from going through so many washes for several days. And then on day 5, we come out of the on-time enduro that started the day, and we pull up to a green checkpoint with the giggles, no less, like losing our composure and laughing our asses off. And we pull up to a green checkpoint and our car dies. And it does not start again. And we spent several hours on course. We finally had to call Nick and the mechanics team to come help and, you know, help us figure out what the problem was. You know, we changed out the coil. We were checking to see if there was, you know, spark. We had our you know, multimeter out trying to chase where the interruption was, why we weren't getting any spark, all this stuff. In the end, it ended up being a ground wire really deep down in our distributor that the mechanics helped us to figure out. But unfortunately, that meant that on day 5 of the rally, we got almost no points for the whole day. We timed out of everything. And, you know, as disappointing as that was, we still collected every checkpoint, even though we were timed out, to kind of give ourselves that idea of how did we do? How would we have done had it not been for this mechanical failure? And I would also just state that, like, that part that failed was a brand new part. It had less than 800 miles on it. You know, we did our due diligence before we left in replacing our distributor to make sure that it wouldn't fail, and that wire just shredded itself apart. And, you know, you do what you can to prepare, and some things are out of your control.
Yeah. That's a
the
really
other
good reminder.
The other kind of element, I guess, that makes driving an older car different from a modern car I'm just going to call it not a modern car. It's still not a very modern car, even though the 90s don't seem like they were that long ago. It is not a modern car.
Yeah.
And so the suspension under the car is a lot more rigid. It's also a short wheelbase car, so the driving experience is much different. It's a manual, like 5-speed. Also, I don't think there were a lot of manual vehicles on the cars.
I think there were 2 or 3
Two
last
others,
year.
yeah. Which I mean, manual is my preference, but it just it's a little different experience. The suspension thing, though, it just means that all that rough, washy, and like little surprise dips along the course, like we have to go through those much slower than something with more modern suspension that really floats over. We would be jamming down some of those dirt roads, and we just had to keep letting people pass, and they would pass and they'd just go, and we're just like boom 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 through all of that stuff at the same time.
Yeah, truly.
Certainly another thing that was just an added challenge, fear for the challenge. We had a much smaller gas tank than we kind of maybe should have. The recommendation was, I think, 300 miles of range, and I think we probably had more like 220, 230 of range, and so we were very concerned about being frugal with our fuel. That did not mean that we didn't go explore and take all the cool X options. We did do that. But we were very conservative with using the air conditioning, which honestly, it's kind of, the air conditioning blows cold, but the car is a very drafty kind of vehicle. It's not like modern air conditioning, let's put it that way. And we just never used it because we were very worried about a little bit sometimes overheating the car, but mostly we were worried about fuel economy, and we didn't want to use that air conditioning, which adds load to the motor and reduces your fuel economy. So
which is fine at 8 o'clock in the morning in most of those places. But by the middle of the afternoon, we were melting. We were having a very, very physically demanding experience inside that car.
And at 3 p.m, when it's 95 degrees out, and you've been rattling around in this car all day, like head down, right? And you're trying so hard to stay clear-headed, right? Like you're already fatigued from being up early, from the lack of sleep, from just working your mind so hard this whole time, and your brain is pudding because it's literally melting inside of your head. So you're just like, you have that fog of like that heat fog, and so trying to stay clear-headed was a bit tricky. Cold brew helps. We would also we'd be like, okay, I think we have like maybe this many kilometers left in the day, and we have this much fuel left. Let's give ourselves like 5 minutes of air conditioning, and we crank it on. And Liza would like hold her mat board over the little vent, so it'd be like funneling into her like chest area,
funneling it right into my armpit.
Yeah. And so, that was just a little bit maybe of a different experience than some of the more modern.
Do you know what? I wouldn't trade it for the world, especially for our first rally experience, because we went into it with this mindset, we're not going to win the rally in our first year. Let's make sure that the experience that we have is both one that we learn a lot from, but also is one that we are having fun. This is way too much work. It's way too challenging. It's way too expensive to go out there and be miserable. So we wanted to make sure that we were also having a really great time. And, that car speaks so much to both Jenna and I, and our love of Land Rovers, our love of that adventuring spirit that comes along with it. And so, I wouldn't trade it for the world. It was a brilliant way to start our first rally.
1,000% agree. Yeah, I mean, it was so fun. Like that car is fun. I mean, the rally itself was fun. It will be fun in a different car, but because just that was a very good that vehicle. Yeah, presents a very shared bond, I think, between us, and really fits what our normal adventure style is. So,
and that car has seen a lot of miles since then, because after the rally, we got home. And Land Rover called us and shipped it out to a Defender promotional event in upstate New York. And we went out there and did some tent talks and talked about our experience on the Rebelle, and they put it on display. And then it went to Pennsylvania. Sarah Crabtree, who was the driver last year of the other classic Defender, works at a Land Rover shop. And they did a bunch of motor maintenance. They put a new engine in that car for us. And then that car got shipped down to Florida, where our sponsor, Full Sail University, put it on display and had me talk to the students about what it was like to prepare for the rally and things like that. Then that car got shipped back up to upstate New York for the Land Rover Anarch 75th anniversary, where Jenna and Ike and Steven, who are the co-hosts of the podcast, they had that car up there and it was on display yet again. And then it finally got shipped home. So I only just got the car back about a month ago.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's been on quite the adventure.
It has.
Wow.
Yep, famous little Land Rover 90, that's for sure.
Yeah.
We also got some Instagram message too at some point of somebody like saw it on a transporter on the highway. They were like, we saw your car.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so cool.
So leave your Rebelle Rally decals on the doors when you're done with it, as long as you possibly can, because it's a great conversation starter, and it looks so good when you drive it places.
It does.
Yeah, and when you're talking about that shared love too, both Jessica and I found each other through our Toyota 4Runner community, and we're I think we both have very, very mutual attachments to off-roading in our 4Runners, where it just was the gateway to so much.
For sure.
And
brand loyalty. Brand loyalty is a really big thing. Like, some people in the Rebelle, they'll do it in any vehicle, come hell or high water. They don't care. Other people, like you say, you really love your 4Runner. Somebody really, really loves their Jeep. Somebody really loves their Bronco, whatever, and they're never going to deviate from that. And Jenna and I have a really close relationship with our love of Land Rovers. It's kind of what brought us together. It's kind of what, we sort of became known for and are branded around. And, I wouldn't trade it for the world.
Yeah, that's awesome. And it was such a pleasure meeting you guys and see you off-road. And you had a newer Defender that you were driving? I want to get it right.
One I'm in right now. I'm sitting in a 2022 Defender at the moment. That was the one that we had out at training in February, where we met you. And I drive a brand new Defender every day. I drive a vintage Defender. My husband and I own half a dozen actually other Land Rovers, ranging from 1951 and up. Ike and Jenna have older vehicles even than that. And they're a ton of fun. They are a ton of fun. They are quirky vehicles, and they are a ton of fun.
That's awesome. Okay, for our time, I'll keep us moving. So that's it for my questions. So Kelly, go ahead with the closeout stuff.
Yeah, so we want to respect everyone's time today. Liza's got to go pretty much at 2:30. So we want to just wrap up with our last ask of just going to our link in bio, looking at our website, going to that donate page, and considering different ways that you can donate. As you can hear, we're all looking for ways to fundraise, to gather sponsors. Every team has their own challenges getting to the start line. So as rookies, we absolutely need all of your help. Next week, we're going to have Team 135, Team YOLO, hop on with us. We're really excited about that. We've been working really hard on the Nomad Overland Rally, so we're going to talk to them and see how that's been helping them prepare for the Rebelle this year. So we're almost to 2:30, so we're going to wrap up. Thank you, Liza and Jenna, so much. Let's wrap up by sharing how our followers, your followers, everyone who's listening today can support your team in all of your channels and your podcast.
Yeah, you bet. So the biggest thing for us is tune into the Underpowered Hour. You can go to theunderpoweredhour.com. You can search for it on YouTube. You can search for it on anywhere you get your podcasts, and like and subscribe to that show. If you want to hear more about Jenna and I's journey last year, we did a pre-start line show, and then we did a finish line wrap-up. And that is a long episode where we went day by day by day, and we broke down everything that we did and everything we saw and all the challenges that we had. So if you go back through the podcast and find that episode, that's a really fun way to kind of hear our perspective when we were literally 24 hours fresh off of the rally. But yeah, like and subscribe to the Underpowered Hour. I'm Overland_her. Jenna is Scribbly Fribbly, and we often collaborate on our posts. We also have a page. If you go to the underpoweredhour.com, we have a page dedicated to the rally team that tells you a little bit about who we are, and you can see some of the media that we've done over the last year, link to all those articles there. And that's a great place also if you want to just reach out to us. You can DM us, you can send us an email through the website. It all goes to me. So
cool. Awesome. Yeah, and your content's great. I've been loving following you since meeting you in Glamis, and like all the things that you're talking about. I was like, oh yeah, I saw I saw it come home. I saw, so
yeah.
Really awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. Thank you so much, you guys.
Thank you for having
everyone
us.
For listening in and joining us. And yeah, we'll see you hopefully before October, but if not, we'll see you October.
Sounds great.
Good. You guys are doing great. Keep up the good work.
Thank you so much. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thanks.
All right. Have a great day, you guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.